live. Yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, we going live. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Hello, beautiful people. I am Jarrett, the football genius Burgess, and we got a special guest here today. My brother. Sometimes y'all hear me call him downstairs. Most of the time you hear me call him L. One of my closest friends, Lamont Thompson.
What up, people? What's good, bro? Thanks for having me on here, man. And,
of course, man.
Stephanie, I'm gonna try to hold it down for you, Stephanie. We're gonna get you back on the I Care Too Much podcast too, because we're gonna definitely set you up in the dating game.
Yeah. Look, I think she hated the idea of that. But I thought it would have been super dope, you know what I'm saying, for her to do it. And it's funny, man. I gotta thank you for coming on, because I know and shout out to Stephanie when she first talking about taking this sabbatical, one of the first people she mentioned was like, all right, we got to get Elle on. So I appreciate you being able to come on, especially at such short notice, bro.
No, thanks for calling on me, man.
Of course.
I got my sports hat on. I got my weekend at Bernie's on.
Oh man.
I'm switching caps today. I'm talking sports. We doing this, man. Field to the Real podcast. We in here, Thanks for having me.
Of course. This is episode 135. And when I talked to Stephanie, she was very upset that she couldn't be on for this episode because it's a whole bunch that went down in sports this week.
Whole lot.
And we're going to get to as much of it as we can get to. But let's start off, obviously, with who's really right. Man, we looking at this basketball season. And for me, I don't really get excited about the basketball season until after the All-Star game. But it's with so many different storylines this year, I've been having to keep my eye on it. We all know that I'm a LeBron fan. You know what I'm saying?
Just for the record, I'm not a LeBron fan.
I love
LeBron.
No, of course.
But Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He added style to the game. We gotta put that out there.
And y'all already know my GOAT is GOAT James. You know what I'm saying? And it's something we routinely, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily have debate about, but kind of go back and forth with every once in a while. But it's fun, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to even really tell. And y'all know, as much as I dislike Michael Jordan, I got to give it up for his impact on the game. He came in, and these contracts that are inflated now would not be where they are with the fact that, he made the game globul. So
he brought style to the game, man. He brought style to the game. It's like adding another genre to music. He added a whole another genre to basketball in the way that it's played.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into this. Who's really right? Somebody who, I wouldn't say anybody compares him to Michael Jordan, but some people compare his competitiveness to the competitiveness of a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, and that's Russell Westbrook. Now, we know Russell Westbrook was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers a few months back, and they haven't been doing as well as he would have probably, or anybody would have thought, in these first few games. And so our who's really right for this week is this Westbrook experience in LA a failure? And so, as our guest, I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, so I'm a DC guy. We DC guys, man. He came from the Wizards. He got traded from the Wizards to the Lakers. We got a chance to see Russell Westbrook in the playoffs with the Wizards last year.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point in the playoffs, it just felt like he gave up. It felt like he buckled down and he wasn't the same. He didn't have the same venom, the same energy that he displayed throughout the season that got us to the playoffs. I'm thankful for the season that we were able to get him, and he partook. He was able to partake in that, and I know Bradley Beal was down for a few games, and Westbrook stepped up for the Wizards. So then he got traded to the Lakers, and it just seems like it's still early, so I don't want to count him out, right? But he just doesn't have that same energy that he wants, that we are accustomed to seeing from him, that we want to see from him. He's not giving us what we want right now as fans of the game. Yeah, man. He lends his experience now as more of a veteran player on the bench, but you got to give Rondo a chance, man, to do his thing, because I think Rondo's the point guard that's going to give them the better chance in the playoffs later on.
Oh yeah. While I do agree with that, because I'm a big fan of Rondo, I'm a big fan of what he brings to the game as a floor general, and he very rarely turns the ball over, something that Westbrook does quite often.
Right.
One thing I will say is that while it is too early, right? But I think that something has to be said for team chemistry and meshing. And so I wouldn't call this a failure. I know that it's easy to do. I know it's easy to say, oh, look at them, Westbrook's playing awful.
Right.
But when I feel like when LeBron gets back, when he gets healthy and all the pieces start to kind of move together, we'll see a lot of improvement from them. Just like, you can't just throw a player on a team and stir, right? And we're starting to see that, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. We're starting to see that with Ben Simmons being extracted from that Philadelphia 76ers lineup, because they're still dominant, right? And
figuring it out. They're figuring it out.
Yeah. Most GMs would say, no, I'm not getting rid of a player like that, but is getting rid of him improving the team chemistry? And so we think about it like from an extraction point when talking about the 76ers, but is adding a player like Westbrook, affecting team chemistry? And can that be fixed? And in my opinion, it can, especially with someone who plays with the ferocity of, Russell Westbrook.
Man, it's an interesting dynamic over there, because they're stacked right now, man. Just uncut talent. Melo is showing out.
Yeah.
And I just wish Westbrook would match that energy.
Yeah.
Melo is no spring chicken. We already know, but we know what he can bring to any game.
Exactly.
Westbrook, we're not seeing that. Yeah. We're not seeing it from Westbrook yet. And it's almost a question, all right, well, it's still early, but how long do we wait to get that explosiveness from him?
Right.
How long do we wait to get him to guard the ball a little better? Is he playing hurt? And we just don't even know.
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because that's what I thought last playoff season. Last playoffs when he's with the Wizards, it just seemed like one game he had that vigor, and then the next game he was walking, across the half court line with the ball. He's trying to set up the play, but he just didn't have that same explosiveness. So it's a bunch of question marks there for me. I think give Rondo that shot to take it, the majority of the time.
Yeah. Well, let me address the part about his time with the Wizards, because I think when you think about, and you said it, Bradley Beal was out for a minute, right?
Right.
And Westbrook did a good job. I don't know if you remember, but we were fighting to get into the playoffs. We were the number 10 or the number 9 seed. And so, the fact that we even made it in was, a feat. And so when you give that maximum effort that he gives for 82 games, and then you get into the playoffs, your body starts to wear off. Your body starts to break down and wear down. And so I think that's what we saw last year. I think that's what we saw. And, like you said, well, you say Melo ain't no spring chicken, but with the way that Westbrook plays basketball, like, he ain't no spring chicken either. You know what I'm saying? The way he puts his body through. So one of the things I would like to see is for him to, for Vogel to spread out a little more time between Westbrook and Rondo, so that you can rest Westbrook's body a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it'd be good to see that.
Yeah. I don't think he's the future of the Lakers franchise at point guard. He's the now of the Lakers. And that's what LeBron James is really good at. He goes to a team he becomes the now. It might take him
Yeah.
a season to get there, a season or two, but he becomes the
Mhm.
now, and he creates that for a now team,
Yeah.
which is great. It's pickup basketball in a sense. These guys
Yeah.
are playing pickup basketball right
Right.
now.
Right. And I mean,
That's what
that's
the early
kind of,
season is.
yeah. Well, yeah. Playoffs turns into a little bit of a different beast, but it really is kind of pickup basketball. You see a whole bunch of isolations. You see, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Let's figure it out these first 16 games. Let's do some stuff we probably never done before.
yeah,
Let's see, what sticks, and then the next 16 to 32, we doing a whole. We getting in that rhythm. This is what our game plan is now.
yeah,
32 and beyond, you got to have it figured out by then.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, all right, man. You guys let us know who you think is really right.
And we did have a poll too on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Then we had a poll. Who's a better point guard?
Who's a better point guard?
The Lakers' best chance.
Yeah. Last time I looked at it, it was 67% Rondo, 33% Westbrook, which is where I figured it would fall. I think most people who understand basketball, even at a very cursory level, understand that Rondo is a tremendous floor general, even though Westbrook's probably more explosive player. Yeah.
Yeah. Give the people what they want.
Let us know let us know who's really right. Do you think that this Westbrook experience is a failure? Yes, or no, it's too early to tell.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.